Welcome back to our channel, and I say ours because I don't have a channel without you. Well, I guess I have a channel, but it's kind of meaningless if I'm just talking to myself. I do enough of that already. Anyway, I just finished a video called How Bad Is the Pimax Software in response to some of the critics who are a little bit over the top with criticism. It seems like some people get angry if you dare to say you had a good experience with Pimax. C'est la vie. Anyway, today I'm going to walk through the experience you get as a beta tester when you load beta software and firmware and see how it works with the headset. Kind of expect to find problems, honestly do. The only thing, let's see what I've got running in the back. Let's see what I have running in the background, he said, trying to speak with good diction. I've got Pimax XR runtime in the background, and I think I enabled OpenXR toolkit some time ago. Once you've done this, unless you turn it off, you don't need to keep the window open, and it's running, so I'm good. And now we'll see how this is where, as a beta test, you get kind of what's going to happen next. So we'll just try firing up the Pimax Client. First, I've got to make sure I turn the headset on. That's like step one. Make sure the headset has power. There we go. And now I'll hit up my beta software for the Pimax Client. And notice I just clicked on it. I didn't have to run it as an administrator. I think with the 8KX, sometimes I felt more confident running the Pi Tools or Pimax Client as an administrator, but it doesn't seem to make any difference in the Crystal. Holy crap, I found it already. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Usually it takes somewhere between 10 seconds and a minute, depending on what's going on in the background on the computer. This is what makes VR such a not one-size-fits-all. Because sometimes I have a problem and I think, oh, there's something wrong with the software. But you know what it was? It was something running in the background from Windows on my computer, or another program updating, or something. And once I lost contact because my internet connection failed for 2 or 3 seconds, and that was enough to mess things up. So you kind of have to, when you're beta testing, you sort of have to go at it hammer and tong and over. Basically what happens is Pimax says, here, take this shiny thing. So you hit it with a hammer until it breaks. And then you hand it back to them and say, oops, and tell them what went wrong with the report. And then they shine something else for you, and there you got another shiny thing. So you hit it with a hammer until it breaks. I've walked through all this software with you. I want to see if everything that is there should be there. But since I've already done a video explaining how all this stuff works, I'm going to be brief about it. I'm going to make sure that the store is working. Okay, good. Pimax store is working. And I know that it works. Oh, OVR toolkit. That's a good thing to have. I know it's working because I bought this wandering in space from the store. I think this will become more interesting as we get standalone and wireless working from Pimax. My assets. Oh, okay. This is what's interesting. The last version, everything was there. This version somehow magically, the Pimax Client has lost all my software except for the stuff. I don't know why it found this, because that's a Steam piece of software that I use for testing field of view. But the other stuff that's here is just from the Pimax store. That's the only stuff that's there. Is my account still proper? Yeah, everything looks good there. It shows me wallet. Okay, so I don't have any money to give them, so they already have all my money. Yeah. And this is the beta version I'm using of the Pimax Client. This, you don't have to worry about problems that I might have on this video, because this is a beta that we got in the beta test. Even though the beta test is technically over, they're still throwing stuff at us to try out, and this is one of them. So there you go. Help is still there. Okay, let's go back to the Crystal side. Let's see if I can find my games in the device menu. Oh, here's something that's changed. Under devices, I now have eye tracking, auto IPD, and a couple of things that I haven't had before. Now, I still have the plastic lenses, so eye tracking and auto IPD is probably not going to work for me. I'm not going to test it, but it's there. That's pretty cool. And from what I've heard from Matt Buccianeri, who developed the Pimax XR runtime and the XR toolkit, eye tracking is working. It's working real well. So it will be working on his toolkit and in programs that run through Pimax OpenXR runtime. Okay, let's see. What else is here? Anything new here? No, not too much. Control Q. Okay, I still just have 3 options really for local dimming: balanced, highlight, and extreme. Of course, there's off, so I guess we have 4 options. All right, let's go to advanced. Anything there? No. I can still adjust IPD independently, horizontally, and vertically, which is really good, just in case your eyes aren't perfectly centered in your head. If your noggin is a little bit lopsided, like mine with my big old Charlie Brown head, sometimes I have to adjust things in software. And that's nice. You get the auto adjust and the IPD adjustment on the headset itself in hardware, and then you can tweak it a little bit if you need to in software. That's a good thing. Now, here's the moment of truth. All my games were missing from my assets page here, right? So let's go back and let's see if I've got them under games here. I've got the common setting. So I've got 2 more games. I've got Aces High, which I don't even have on the computer anymore, which is kind of a cool game. And Condor, which is an Oculus game, which I don't actually have installed right now. It's interesting that shows up. I probably have forgotten to delete a couple files. DCS is there, the hang glider sim is there, and my field of view program is there, but nothing else. Okay, so that now, as a beta tester, that begs the question: if I start my games from Steam, I mean, I'm assuming they'll still appear in Steam, right? Let's find out. Because Pimax software has no control over Steam. So the Steam library should still turn up. Okay, there's my Steam. There's my library. And I guess I ran Steam earlier today because it booted up right away, which usually has to go through an update thing. In library, it looks like everything's there. Couple of programs that I did. I'm trying to learn Spanish because my great nephew is from Guadalajara, Mexico, and I'm trying to learn Spanish just because I think it would be a cool thing to do on top of English and my very bad French. But everything seems to be there. Now, here's a question. Can I get it to run from Steam an OpenXR game, or will it have some kind of a conflict? Will Steam and the OpenXR butt heads because I'm launching the program from Steam and Steam wants to run it in Steam? Well, as I understand it, this program here, Matt's Pimax XR runtime, switches it. So even if I started from Steam, I would think that Steam would think it's running SteamVR when it's actually running OpenXR, thanks to this lovely little piece of kit. And I believe I'm also running Open Composite in the background, which means I should be able to launch IL2. Oh, well, let's try it. Let's see if this launches from Steam and if it works. And this is what beta testers do. Now I'm at the hitting it with a hammer stage to see what else is broken. Put a few dents in it. That's my evil laugh. I guess not that evil. Do I want to launch? Yes, I want to launch in Steam VR mode. Okay, here's where we find out if the software still works properly, because I should be able to launch this from Steam. Steam thinks it's launching in Steam VR, but we snuck up on it with the OpenXR runtime, and with luck, it'll run in OpenXR. And we'll know it does pretty quickly. Okay, so the game fired up right here. You can see it down there. We're getting the typical, hold on, I have to load IL2 Sturmovik screen. Oh, audio's better, yeah. Yeah, the last update I did before I got this most recent beta fixed the audio, but my firmware was actually, or the software was actually a little bit corrupted because I had to re-download it and redo everything, and I think that's due to the internet bump I was talking about. So I got rid of everything in the Pimax folder and reinstalled everything and re-downloaded the beta software and fired it up. And that's when we discovered that we had things that were missing, like auto IPD and eye tracking, but then something else was broken in my library. All my games were missing from my library, but Steam still had them. And for the games that aren't Steam, I bet if I went to the program files themselves and hit the executable, the start file for them, they would work too. Now here I'm showing 90 frames per second on NVIDIA. So that to me implies that it's working. Now let's see if I got the headset working. Yes, the headset is working just fine. So I'm not gonna put the headset on, but I'm gonna just start a quick mission here, just to make sure it works. I don't even really care what planes I have, because we're just gonna start it, get it running, and exit. And I used to think IL-2 was the slowest loading game in the world. It seems much faster now. Maybe that's because I have a faster computer, or maybe it's because I'm comparing it to FS 2020. Asobo's program, Flight Sim 2020 in VR, is astonishing. It's beautiful. But last night I read a book while I was waiting for it to launch. Okay. It was a fairly short book, just War and Peace. War and Peace because it's not that... okay, lines like that have kept me out of the big time for years. Let's just... Okay, uncool this. This is good. Okay, so what's neat is I've got an image on the flat screen and also an image. I'm just going to put the headset on for a second here. Creak and groan. This getting old is not for sissies. Okay. All right, so I got a center to view. There we go. Oh, it looks beautiful. Yeah, this, and I'm showing, I can see I don't know if you can see it on the screen, probably not, but I can see the OpenXR toolkit head-up display. Tells me I've got 91 frames per second. Turbo mode is on. CPU 7.0 milliseconds. Not sure what that means. Is that frame time or something? It's using only 4.3 gigabytes of VRAM. And I've got 24 on the video card because I'm running a 39. Okay, well I don't really think we need to play the game. So we'll probably just wind up with me humiliating myself by crashing or getting shot down by an AI again. So we'll just... Ooh, actually looks really good just from here. Okay, so now we're back to this screen. We will finish. And we will exit. And we'll just look around the room. Yeah, everything looks good. That's the Sopwith triplane. That airplane inspired Anthony Fokker to build the Fokker triplane, which is maybe the iconic airplane of World War I, alongside the Camel. All right, so that's it. That's it for testing this. Now I can write up a report. I can tell them that we have some issues with the library disappearing, but everything still works when I fire it up from Steam, even the OpenXR games. I mean, there's more testing to do. They'll revise it. They'll send it back. I'll try and break it again. And over the process, hopefully we'll improve the software for you when you get your Crystal. Because the Crystal users who are getting the advance orders now, for the most part, are telling me and reporting that things are looking pretty good. There seems to be about a 5% problem rate in terms of the hundreds of headsets shipped out and the number of problem reports that I'm seeing on my Discords and on my YouTube channel with comments, and I'm seeing a lot more comments about how it plug and plays. But I think as we go along, the software will show flaws. I mean, I think my friend Omniwhatever on his channel has uncovered some bugs, and he has some solutions. And maybe I'll put a link to that in the description below. As the software becomes more robust with each revision, I think the crystal is just going to get better and better. And I'm really looking forward to getting the glass lenses for the crystal, so I can see how much better they are than the plastic. Because frankly, the plastic lenses are bloody good. I mean, I'm astonished by them. But everybody tells me, oh yeah, you're astonished by the plastic ones, but wait till you get the glass ones. And so we'll see. And I'm also hoping to get some, I don't know if Pimax is watching this. If you are, guys, listen carefully. Me want wide angle lenses. That's the way my little nephew talked when he was really little, but without the deep voice, because that would have been scary. But yeah, I'm hoping that they'll send me some wide angle lenses to test as soon as they're available. They're supposed to give you another, I don't know, 15, 20 degrees of FOV, and like the sailor said when he peed in the ocean, every little bit helps. Okay, thank you so much for watching. That's kind of an hour, well, less than an hour, about 20 minutes in the life of a beta tester. I've got to do some more work on this, but I think maybe that gives you some insight into how it works and how Pimax is working with users and beta testers to do a continual improvement framework. And I think it's working. I think over time, within the next few months or so, we're going to have an extremely robust pair of firmware and software, and you guys are all going to be really happy with the crystal. And I hope the video is informative, and I hope you get a crystal if you want one, and you enjoy it as much as I do, or whatever headset you get. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy the crystal, because, you know, I don't care what headset you use as long as you're in VR, helping the hobby grow and enjoying every minute of it. Have a wonderful day. You deserve no less.